g6. Hikaru is going for the checkmate. Even though his king looks weak, it's not really weak. Queen g4, beautiful move. Any check met with the bishop block. Now threatening a check here. Queen f1. Bishop goes to g2. Plays queen c1 here. And now Hikaru is like, okay, I see this. He has a smile on his face. Queen h4 check. Queen h6. Trying to trade the queens. But now bishop d5 with the idea of bishop f7 is game over. The king can't move because of this pawn. The bishop will be lost completely. He plays it and this is over. What a game here played by Hikaru. There's absolutely nothing that Gukesh can do here. He can try rook f5, bishop f7 and try to win the queen, but it's checkmate here. And bishop d5, such a killer. Gukesh resigns. Hikaru scores an incredible... Welcome everyone to the 8th round of the Norway Chess 2025. We have Hikaru Nakamura entering here and shaking hands with the guest of the day, who's going to make the first move. Hikaru has the white pieces and he's playing against the world champion Gukesh here. Gukesh in great form, one must say. Maybe not the most top-notch chess that Gukesh has been playing, but he did beat Magnus Carlsen and Arjun Erigaisi in the 2 previous rounds. His positions weren't that great, but the resilience and fighting spirit that he has shown is amazing. And Gukesh already beat Hikaru in their previous encounter in this tournament with the white pieces, so Hikaru would be raring for a revenge. Also, the tournament situation is such that in order for Hikaru to have any chance to fight for the top spot, he needs a win here. He is on 8.5 points, while Fabi already on 12.5 points, doing really well. So right now you can see Gukesh adjusting all his pieces. Hikaru waiting for the game to begin, and we are almost ready to go. There we have the photographers ready for the first move, and we have d4 played here, and let's go. Hikaru gets back his pawn. Very excited to see what opening will Hikaru Nakamura choose here. A handshake and we are ready. For Gukesh, this game is also super critical because it'll help him to perhaps move into the leader's position. He's just 1 point behind Fabiano Caruana. We have e4, e5, a very solid opening chosen here by Gukesh. And what is going to be Nakamura's strategy here? Knight comes out to f3. And Gukesh brings his knight out to c6. The standard opening. Will we see the Italian? Will we see the Rui Lopez? Hikaru looks at the big screen to check the other openings of the other boards that are happening there, and he goes for the Scotch. Wow, that's a interesting choice here by Hikaru. Gukesh instantly takes the pawn. He's come prepared because MVL did beat Gukesh with the white pieces in this opening in the recent Grand Chess Tour, Superbet Chess Classic, and Gukesh goes knight f6. In that game, Gukesh had played bishop c5, but here knight f6 attacking the pawn and knight c3. A little bit tame here. Knight c6, bc6, e5 is the main line, but knight c3, now we are into the 4 knights territory, and this is supposed to be very, very solid for both colors. But Hikaru has some good experience with this line. He did beat Fabiano Caruana in this line at the Isle of Man tournament, the Grand Swiss in 2023. So that he's going to try. He's going to try here. And let's see what Gukesh chooses. He castles. And Hikaru will also castle here. The reason why this opening is considered to be very even and dry is because black will push d5, white will take, and the strategies are pretty well known here. Pawn takes pawn, and there are two ways now. One is to take back. The other is this forcing line, which has become very popular, which is what Gukesh goes for, bishop g4, which kind of provokes white to go f3. Just does create some weaknesses. So f3, and now the bishop can jump back to h5. Yes, a good move. Bishop comes to h5 and bishop g5, pinning the knight here. And pawn takes pawn is taken because bishop takes, queen takes. This is all seen before. This opening has been played before at the candidates tournament in 2024 that Gukesh won between Nepo and Fabiano Caruana. So it's a very well-known position. Here queen takes b2 is taken. Exactly, this is the move. So Fabi Nepo game, they are following this. Of course, Hikaru is aware of it. I'm sure Gukesh also is aware. Both haven't taken too much time. Rook b1. Are you losing a piece here? Not really. There's a check that can be played. Yes, bishop c5, check. And now king goes to h1. And queen comes back to e5. So quickly played there by Gukesh. Rook e1, attacking the queen. Important not to take here because of bishop h7. Queen d4 also is a mistake because of rook b4. If you take, I take here. So queen d6 is the correct move by Gukesh. Not falling for any tricks. Knight e7 is also the normal move. Well, that was also played in that game. King h8, the only option. And queen e2, nice move, because if you go rook e8, there's knight g6 which wins actually. So rook a b8, but Gukesh takes roughly 30 minutes for this move. Rook a b8, it's the best move, but at least some good signs for Hikaru for playing this opening. And he was about to make his move, so Gukesh comes back. You know, Gukesh had gotten up. Then Hikaru decided against making his move. He goes queen e4 and threatens a mate in one. As you can be as straightforward as it can get. Bishop g6 by Gukesh should be the move that is played. Yes, bishop g6 comes on the board. And now knight takes on g6. Has to be taken. He takes, and very important for Gukesh to take here back with the h pawn. It's very critical, very important, but what can be more natural than taking with the f pawn, opening up the rook? Look at Hikaru's expression here. He's slightly surprised. Look at him, and look at that expression that says it all. He looks up. In fact, now this position Hikaru already knows is much better for him. Rook takes rook, rook takes rook, and still Hikaru can't believe that Gukesh has done this beautiful move, g3. And why is this so beautiful? Think about it. King g2, h4, h5, and this entire structure is very difficult to hold because you can't push the h pawn because g6 is hanging. You can't push the g pawn because there's a mate on h7. The king can't come out because there's a check waiting for you. In general, this position is super problematic here for Gukesh. And turns out that this is a massive positional blunder taking here. I mean, it's so difficult to understand. Sometimes it's just a natural move, opening up your rook's path. But that's the margin of error at top level chess. Bishop b6. Let's see how Gukesh manages to fight here. He has been used to losing positions and wriggling out of the mess. And now look at Gukesh. Even though it's not his move, he's completely focused. h4 played. He would definitely love to save this position somehow, but how exactly to do it? Queen c5. Aha, nice move. He wants to enter here on f2. Well, that can be stopped with rook e2, but then the queen enters on g1. f4 played. Hikaru isn't afraid of this check because just king h3 and there are no more checks. So that's a nice move. And by the way, this is also a very, very nice decision not to push f4. Queen f5. He's basically asking Hikaru, do you want to win a pawn here? I can't take because of back rank mate. G6 and I'll play this position. Hikaru says, no thank you. I'm not greedy for your pawn. I'm going to keep you tested in this position. You have 27 minutes. I have 1 hour 22 minutes. Queen f6 here by Gukesh. And now rook e5 is a very, very naturally strong move and he finds it. Rook e5 played. h5 is on the cards, guys. Takes, rook takes is super strong. Queen d6 played. Should we already go h5 here? Perhaps h5, there is gh5. So he first plays pawn to c3, stopping queen d4 business. Okay. He goes queen a3. Now planning to enter via b2. And Hikaru calmly brings his king up to h3. It's one thing to have an advantage, but quite another to finish it off. And here, Hikaru is also having a lot of time. He comes back king g2. He's trying to repeat the position to put this pressure on Gukesh's mind. Like, you know, the old Soviet masters used to say, when you are in a better position, assert your dominance by repeating and then changing. Queen d6, but Hikaru is losing time in this process. He's come down to 44 minutes and now plays queen e4. So he's preparing h5 very powerfully. You can't take because of the checkmate on h7. And also this does show the power of opposite colored bishops. When you are attacking, the side with the attacking chances has a huge advantage in opposite colored bishops positions because this bishop cannot play a role in defense. Queen b6 played. Well, he's hoping to reroute the bishop to d6, but Hikaru again, you see, he repeats. Gukesh comes back. The idea is that if h5, I go check and then put my bishop on d6. He does go h5 now. Wow. Okay. Gives a check. King comes back to g2. Look at this structure being hacked by the pawn. Amazing. Amazing. Bishop d6 hitting the rook. And rook e6 is the best move. He finds it. Hikaru on a roll here. Absolute roll. He's enjoying himself here. Rook f6. Gukesh is like, take a pawn. Just give me some respite. Give me some respite this way. But Hikaru is like, sorry my friend. Today is not the day when I'm going to let you breathe. Rook f8 was better, but bishop f8 played in the game. And now Hikaru perhaps wanting to enter with queen a8. Threatening rook f8. King g8 again impossible because of check. So queen goes to d6 defending. And Hikaru goes queen, rook d8. We are at move 40. Hikaru down to 22 minutes. Gukesh 8 minutes. The time gap has reduced, but the position has become terrible. Queen e7. And perhaps it's now time to chop this pawn on g6. Win a pawn. The question is, after I take, let's say, yes, Hikaru takes. Should black go h6 or h takes g6 is the question. If h6 here, it's already like a very strong pawn in black's camp and you're pawn down. So he takes on g6. And the queen comes to c8 with the idea of a check. And then a check from here. Oof. Queen c5. Maybe he wants to, like, if queen h3, go to queen h5 or king g8. There's no check anymore. So Hikaru goes here. Queen's bishop e4. Oh, that's a classy move. He wants to play bishop d5. with the idea of queen h3. So g5 played here. And can we go check already? But there's queen, rook h6. Hikaru just takes now. He's unafraid. Check, king h3, check, bishop g2. It does give a check. King comes up to h3. And now the rook is hanging. So rook f7 played. g6. Hikaru is going for the checkmate. Even though his king looks weak, it's not really weak. Queen g4, beautiful move. Any check met with the bishop block. Now threatening a check here. Queen f1. Bishop goes to g2. Plays queen c1 here. And now Hikaru is like, okay, I see this, I see this. He has a smile on his face. Queen h4 check. Queen h6. Trying to trade the queens. But now bishop d5 with the idea of bishop f7 is game over. The king can't move because of this pawn. The bishop will be lost completely. He plays it and this is over. What a game here played by Hikaru. There's absolutely nothing that Gukesh can do here. He can try rook f5, bishop f7 and try to win the queen, but it's checkmate here. And bishop d5, such a killer. Gukesh resigns. Hikaru scores an incredible positional win against Gukesh. First playing this very, very equalish line. But I think Gukesh had to solve a few problems. That's how top level chess openings work these days. Gukesh was unable to solve it and Hikaru scores this massive win. With this, he actually comes up to 11.5 points, which is the same score as Gukesh and is now just 1 point behind Fabi. And Magnus is on 12 points, Fabi on 12.5, Arjun is on 10.5. This tournament is heading towards one of the most exciting finishes that we can see. And there you can see Gukesh, whether he wins or loses, he rearranges his pieces, folds his score sheets, pays his respect to the board, and then moves out. Let's hear from Hikaru.
Hikaru, congratulations! Wonderful game, a classical win for you. How are you feeling? Because in the beginning it was looking like it's going to a draw, but then Gukesh made some inaccuracies and you had a better chance.
Yeah, I mean, I think in some ways it's like the first game I had against him, where where like in the first one I relaxed. Just when I had equalized, I completely relaxed, fell asleep for like one to two moves, and immediately I was in a lot of trouble and I couldn't recover. And I think, I mean, I'm not sure what happened, whether Gukesh just didn't know this bishop g6 move or what exactly it was, but it was very clear to me that based on the long thing, he didn't like the pawn structure at all. And who was it? I think Pavel Ulyanov did a course on this some years back, and in it he mentions, I think he mentions this line, rook b8, queen e4, bishop g6 takes, h takes, g6, g3, and I think the notes go something like, in a rapid game, I'd like to have this with white, but in classical, I mean, it's probably not much, but yeah, when Gukesh played f takes g6 and I got the structure, I mean, okay, a computer obviously is going to draw this, I mean, I'm pretty sure, but in human play, very, very tough. So it was a very, very nice win for me. And of course, I mean, a bunch of people are going to be like, well, why didn't you do this in the candidates and play something like this? But, you know, everything happens for a reason.
Yes, f takes g6 looks like a normal move, but were you sure that this was an error by Gukesh?
Oh, I mean, I was sure because all the lines had h takes g6.
Okay.
But again, I think the thing is, it's one of those situations where if he had looked at this at home with the computer, he takes, he sees it's equal, you don't worry at all, and then over the board, if you haven't looked at it, you see the pawns on f7, g6, and you start to see some slight worries or have some concerns. And but I was mostly surprised he took with the f-pawn, because I just thought, I mean, maybe he missed g3, king g2, because once I get g3, king g2, f4, like it's just very one way. I mean, only white can be pressing there, and black just has to suffer. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what he missed, but of course I'll take it.
Right, and also tell us about your thoughts on like queen takes g6, queen takes f5 to win a pawn. Like, why did not you do it?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I was basically treating it as like one of these computer games. You know, oftentimes you see games between, say, Leela and Stockfish or AlphaZero, all the programs where you go for like a study when you try to win with no counterplay, and I had a feeling there should have been some way to win that. I mean, maybe there was, and I just wasn't precise, but I just felt like there should have been better than going to an end game. I mean, of course, the end game probably is very good as well, but why go for it if you don't have to? So that was the main reason I chose to avoid queen takes f5.
Okay, congratulations on this game, and just wanted to ask one last question. As you and Magnus have been the flag bearers of if you can tell, the content of the chess world, and as you both have been saying or giving hints about not continuing classical chess much, what do you think? Where can the chess world think the direction is going?
I mean, I think it's a good thing you're asking this question because people will like the answer. It's very clear that the future of chess is in India. I mean, India is basically the new Soviet Union as far as chess goes. You have Gukesh, you have Arjun, you have Prag. I mean, I think Aravind just broke into the top 10 if I'm not mistaken. If I look, forward to the next 5-10 years, Indians are going to dominate chess. There's no doubt about it.
But we will be seeing you streaming, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, I think, don't understand that I don't actually enjoy playing classical chess that much. It's a very, very big grind. Also, I would say that a lot of stuff, of course, goes on behind the scenes, so people don't see it. But if I go back to, say, 2021 or 2022, I would make the argument that just playing all these online blitz games was good enough in terms of prep to be sharp and show up against everyone, and that's definitely not the case now. So the amount of effort I have to put in is like more than it used to be, and it's harder to do everything. So something has to give, and I think at the end of the